Why don't we have Christmas all year round? Why don't we have Christmas all year round? Why don't we have Christmas all year round? Hi guys, welcome to Battle with Ola once again. My name is Mujela Olua and I'm so excited because it's Christmas season. Christmas season makes me want to give of my craft, and art to people as much as possible. I know that there was one year that I wrote poems for as many people as wanted it, and there was another year that I wrote short stories for, as many people as possible. This year, I have even more goodies for you on this channel. I am going to be bringing you guests upon guests who are going to be talking about different areas of law that will affect you positively and help you as laymen, law students, and lawyers. You already know that this channel is for law students, laymen, and lawyers, so no one will be left out. Please stay tuned to this channel, subscribe if you have not subscribed, and by all means turn on notifications so that whenever we drop a new video, you are going to be seeing it and watching it. And please like the videos as soon as you watch them and leave me comments. Let me know what you learned, let me know what you're going to do, and if you need further assistance of a lawyer in a professional capacity, don't forget to mail me at houseoflivingstones@gmail.com. Today we want to talk about contracts. Contracts are very important and they cut across all aspects of our lives, both personal and commercial. So I want to talk about commercial contracts basically, but I'm also going to be talking about the essential features that cut across all sorts of contracts. So whether yours is commercial in nature or not, most contracts are commercial in nature because there has to be exchange of funds, for certain purposes. So whatever type of contract yours is, you will find this very useful. Please stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe. Let's talk about contracts. I'm going to break this video into two parts. The first part is going to talk about the 7 most important features of a contract. Once you've checked and you have these 7 features present in your contract, you should be rest assured that you have a valid contract. There are other features, but these are the 7 most important features that must be present in a contract for it to be a valid contract and binding on both parties. The first is offer. Offer is like basic. If you did contract law in 100 or 200 level, you would understand that offer is when a party expressly, offers. I'm not supposed to use the word in definition, but a offer is when a party, makes an offer to the other party. For instance, I want to sell my gele, this beautifully done head wrap by me. I want to sell it. So I'm making you an offer. Buy this gele for £20. So I've made you an offer. Now the next feature is acceptance. I'm going to be explaining the two side by side. So offer is, I've told you that I have this gele, I want to sell it. It's going for £20. That's an offer. Now, you would accept it and say, oh, I want to buy this gele. Here is £20. Or you could say, I want to buy this gele, but I have £15. I want to buy this gele, but I have £10. So there's an offer and there's an acceptance of the offer. Now, the process by which you negotiate, I have 15, I have 10, those are just negotiations. They do not constitute acceptance yet. But as soon as we've reached, an agreement that, okay, I'll meet you in the middle and I'll sell it for £12. So now and you say, okay, I'll buy it for £12. That's an acceptance. So offer is the first move by a party called the offeror to a party called the offeree, and acceptance is the second move by the offeree to the offeror after there might have been negotiations in between. That's the first and the second feature of a valid contract. Now, the third feature is consideration. Consideration simply means money. Money, that is money in exchange for value. So in every valid contract, there must be money exchange for value. Now, that does not mean that where there's no money exchange, it's not a valid contract. There might be other means. That's a consideration in kind, consideration, in trade by barter, for instance. Or you could say, okay, I'm going to lease this land from you, but I'm going to be paying 10% of my agricultural proceeds as consideration every year. That's also consideration. So consideration is the agreed value that both parties have agreed will be exchanged in return for what has been offered and accepted in the contract, that is the object of the contract. So that's consideration. The fourth feature of a valid contract is consensus ad idem. Consensus ad idem simply means, it's a Latin term, it simply means agreement of the minds. In a valid contract, both minds must agree. Olu and Ade, for instance, must agree. Olu must agree that this is what I'm offering to Ade for this sum of money, consideration, and Ade must agree that this is what I'm receiving or taking from Olu for this sum of money. So where there's been an agreement, that is, we've agreed that, okay, I'm not paying 20, I'm paying 12, oh, I'm not receiving 20, I'm receiving 12, and all issues have been resolved, and we've agreed on the price, we've agreed on all terms. There's been a consensus ad idem, that is, our minds have met. That is, our minds have met at a common ground. That is consensus ad idem. So it's important, there must be the presence of consensus ad idem, a meeting of the minds in a valid contract. Another feature of a valid contract is intention to create legal relations. This is one of the most litigated aspects of a contract. That is, it must not just be an invitation to the whole world. For instance, if I say that, oh, I want to sell my house, that's to the whole world. If tomorrow someone comes and I say I'm not selling again, or they have gone to look for money, they bring it, and I'm saying I'm not selling again, they cannot sue me because we do not have a contract. We've not negotiated terms and conditions. I've not agreed to collect a sum from them, and they have not agreed to pay me a particular sum. It's just an invitation to treat, more or less like an announcement. So there must be an intention by one party to create legal relations with the other party, and there must be an intention by the other party to enter into legal relations with that party before we can say that there's a valid contract. So the fifth feature of a valid contract is intention to create legal relations. The sixth feature of a valid contract are a set of twins, and they are legality and capacity. Legality just means that the object of the contract must be a legal object. That is, the purpose of the contract must be a lawful purpose. So the law will not enforce or permit or support an illegality. So if, for instance, marijuana were illegal in a certain state, and you enter into legal relations with someone for the purchase and the sale of marijuana, you cannot enforce that contract because marijuana is illegal in that state. So that's what it means. The purpose must be legal under the law governing that state or the jurisdiction where the contract is being entered into or performed, or where you seek to enforce it. So the purpose of your contract must be legal. And capacity. Capacity means that you must have the lawful capacity to enter into such a contract. For instance, there are contracts that cannot be entered into by infants. Infants are people that are under 18 by law, or maybe under 21 in certain jurisdictions or under certain laws. So if you're an infant and you enter into a contract or an agreement with someone, you cannot enforce it. The law will not enforce it for you because you do not have the capacity to be a party to that contract by law. So there must be capacity. Capacity could also mean, psychological or mental capacity. That is, for instance, people with unsound minds cannot enter into valid contracts to a large extent. So they do not have the capacity to enter into such contracts. Capacity could also be in other various means depending on the purpose of the contract. So there must be legality of purpose of the object and capacity of the subjects of a contract. That's the sixth feature of a contract. So you should check for that. Are you capable under the law to enter into a contract? And is the object of your contract, is it legal? And the last feature of a valid contract is certainty. Certainty, that's the terms of the contract must be certain, and the time frame for the performance of the contract must be certain as well. Everything about the contract must be certain. For instance, I want to sell my bungalow at number 2 Kofu Abayomi, Victoria Island, Lagos. There must be certainty of the object. Oh, it's the bungalow at number 2, not just any house, and then it's on Kofu Abayomi Street, VI, Lagos. That's certainty of the place or the geographical location of the object of the contract. There must also be certainty that I'm the one selling, I have the lawful right to sell, and there's a buyer who has the lawful right to buy. These are our terms and conditions. this is the time within which I want to sell. I'm selling it. If we execute a contract, it will say that, oh, this house is being sold this dash day of dash month of dash year. So there must be certainty in performance, in the object, in the subject, and in everything about the contract. So certainty is the seventh feature that I want to talk about today. Now, there are other features of a valid contract, but if you've checked for these 7 features, you're literally home and dry. So make sure you check for all these features when entering into a contract to ensure and assure yourself that it's a valid contract you're entering into. Now I'm going to move into the second aspect of this video, where I'm going to be talking about the 7 most important clauses that you should look for in a contract so that you'll be safe and secure and to avoid stories that touch the heart. Come along, or let me just say I will see you in my very next video. To-dos.